So now we get to this really fascinating and pivotal time in human evolution and history. Around, let's say, 500 BC to 0 C, we find the emergence of these extraordinary revolutionary new movements in different parts of the world. After hundreds of thousands of years of this tribal shamanic hunter-gatherer cultures and 10 to 15,000 years of this classical ancient settled civilizations and their cultures, we find the rise of these four distinct new worldviews or mode of consciousness or mode of religiosity, spirituality that's very different to everything that has gone before. But also, in a sense, it's the fulfillment of that vision, like that ancient seed has now come to fruition. And so, in the monotheistic Middle East, it was all about prayerful faith and surrender to God. And so, the vision was to look beyond. And the archetypal figure was Abraham and Moses, these prophets of the desert, these wandering messengers of the mountains who received the divine commandment and covenant from God to be good rather than evil, to be kind and loving and virtuous. Then, in the scientific, philosophical West, it was all about observation and exploration and experimentation and modeling and analysis and understanding, all about logical reasoning. And so the vision was to look around, and the archetypal figures were Socrates and Plato and Aristotle and Pythagoras and Democritus and all of these guys. And the fulfillment of the divine vision was not just to the king of the gods, but to the highest principle in this whole system of representation of external and internal phenomena. The gods were always squabbling and battling and arguing and fighting, and so it was always up to Zeus to decide between them, to judge between not just who was right and who was wrong, but between which principle holds the most weight. And so this is the same process that any individual or any philosopher needs to go through in order to understand and to think their way through to their own decision. And then in the mystic East, yet another distinct, different methodology. And it was all about mindfulness, meditation, and self-realization. And so the vision was to look within. And the archetypal figure is the awakened one, the Buddha, the fulfillment of the divine vision, the wandering, mystic, ascetic, cosmic god of the forest, Shiva. And then going even further east, we get to China and this philosophy of the yin and yang, the light and dark in this dynamic swirling embrace. And their archetypal figures were Lao Tzu and Confucius. But going back to the divine vision of the Jade Emperor. But there was also the Shamanic South, the hunter-gatherer tribes that moved out into the wider world and beyond the Far East. In fact, they went so far east, they came out in the West. They came through North America and went further down south into South America, and here they encountered these powerful psychedelic plant medicines like your San Pedro and peyote cactus and your magic mushrooms and ayahuasca vines. And this further enhanced and amplified their shamanic tendencies and qualities. And so they're yet another distinct methodology of trance dancing ecstasy. Hey ya 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 ya. And their vision was to look to nature. And the archetypal figure is not one individual historical person, but the shaman, the role of the shaman. and the fulfillment of the divine vision of the, the great spirit of all of nature. And so you may be wondering why these distinct modes of consciousness, modes of culture and religiosity, spirituality, when everyone seems to have come from the same root or regional cultural systems. So, I mean, there are many reasons, but the core of it is their way of life and the environment they inhabited, the ecology, the ecosystem, and how that influenced them and how that shaped their qualities and their aspirations.